Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today's the update for Expand Those Pans. So Expand Those Pans was created by Dora. She's linked down below. She's here on YouTube as Fuchsia Soul. And Expand Those Pans is, as the name suggests, you work on eyeshadows that you've already hit pan on and try to expand the pan. So in my setup is I work on 3 shadows that I try to use 5 times, and then I always work on 1 cream colored matte shadow that I try to use 10 times. I randomize my shadows. So this month we have 1 single and 2 palettes. So let's start with a palette that had 2 shadows, and that is the Juvia's Place Magic Mini. So there was a shadow randomized out of this palette, and there's also a cream colored matte shadow in here. So I was working on that. Let's first show that. I will have on the screen what it looked like when I rolled it in. And then here it is right now. So I did 10 uses on this shadow right here. I mean, the pan grew a little bit. I feel like it mostly just wore down very evenly instead of really expanding the pan, but that's fine. 10 uses is 10 uses, and it helped me at least get some usage on the shadow. And then the shadow that was randomized out of this palette was the shade Boronu, and that is this one right here. And that pan did quite expand. It wasn't the best shadow. I remember loving the shadow, but the payoff isn't the best anymore. So overall, this palette is one that I'm thinking about maybe possibly decluttering, because the shadows don't perform as good as they used to. But I still got 5 uses out of that shadow and 10 out of the cream colored matte shadow, so that's good. Then I rolled in a shadow from a palette that is actually decluttered. I kept it so I could use it for filming this update, but after this update it is gone from my collection. I rolled in the shade Heather from the Beauty Bay Brights palette, and it is this purple shimmer. Here's what it looks like right now. So the pan did expand. It wasn't my favorite. It's not the best. Payoff wise, it's not my favorite color, so there's that. I used it 5 times, but realized this and this palette is just not something that I want to keep in my collection, so it's going. And then the last shadow is a single, and this one is from Glam Shop. This comes from a palette that I depotted. So I have it marked as the shade Mineral. I'm not really sure if that's actually the name, but here is what it looks like. And I don't think you will be able to see any expansion because I use this with my finger. So the pan didn't grow at all, I believe. It was just easier to apply with my finger. I think I used it with a brush once and was like, this is not working. So I'm just gonna pick it up with my fingers. I did get my 5 uses on it, but because I used it with my finger, the pan didn't expand at all. But there's that. So that means we are gonna randomize some new shadows. I think everything is in my wheel. I'm not really sure. If I roll any shadow that is currently in my pan, that palette, then I will obviously re-roll. If it's something that I've already worked on, that I can remember I worked on, we are also re-rolling. So let's roll some shadows. The first one is Makeup Beauty Shop Payon. That is a rather new pan. Not my favorite shadow, but oh well. And then we have Zueva 182 Degrees. That is an older shadow. I used to love that one, so I'm excited to work on that. See how I feel about that one. And then we have Mica Beauty Shop Just a Dream. Ooh, that is a stunning one. I have actually been using that last week or 2 weeks because I went to a festival. It was beautiful for that. It's such a stunning shadow. It's also a very good lower lash line one. So we're gonna be working on those three. I'm gonna see what cream colored matte I want to work on. It might be just that one from Juvia's Place, but I'm gonna get the shadows and we'll show you what we will be working on. All right, I have all of my shadows. Let's start with the one that is in a palette, the Mica Beauty Shop Peacock Colors palette. You guys know I love this palette. Like, just look at this. Look at this palette. I love it. It's great, especially this blue matte and this shimmer. Chef's kiss. But those are not the ones that we're going to be working on. It is going to be this shadow right here. Wants to focus. There we go. This is the shade Peon. This was recently in Pamela's eyeshadows. I wasn't really sure about the shadow, but it actually is quite a nice shadow. So I'm going to be working on that one. 5 uses. See how much I can expand. Wow, I had a voice crack there. Did you hear that? Expand the pan. And I will report back to you once I've done my 5 uses. And then the rest of the shadows, I've just gone for singles. So first up, we have Zoeva 182 degrees. This is the shadow. I will show you swatches in a second. You can see this pan is already quite big. Like this one, I remember loving. I haven't used it in quite a while, so I'm excited to see if it still performs nicely, if it's still one that I truly love. We shall see, but it's a nice everyday shadow, so I think 5 uses wouldn't be too difficult. Then I have here Mica Beauty Shop Just a Dream. A stunner. She's so beautiful. You can see the pan is here in this top like corner. Doesn't have a corner, it's a round pan, but you can see it right there at the top. Don't ask me why I hit pan in the top and on the middle, but it's a beautiful shadow. So I'm gonna enjoy using this. I don't know how much I will expand this pan because this one is also one that is just easier to apply with the fingers. But nonetheless, 5 uses will be done. Although if I use it on my lower lash line, I will have to use a brush. So we shall see how much that pan will expand. And then for the cream colored matte, I touched upon that one from Juvia's Place. But I also saw one in my Zoeva Singles collection. Is it the best shade? Not quite. It's a little sort of dark and kind of grayish. But I'm gonna be rolling this one in. This is the shade Travel Inspired. And as you can see, the dip surrounding that pan is quite big, so I'm hoping we can get some more pan expansion in 10 uses. So there's that. I'm gonna swatch all of these. Actually, maybe it's fine as a cream colored matte. I don't know what I just said. It looks sort of grayish in the pan, and I don't know, whatever. I will swatch these shadows. You can see why I love that, but also it's not as shimmery as I love nowadays. If I'll swatch that Mica Beauty Shop one, that is, oh my gosh, that is so, I cannot get over these shadows, honestly. If you have a chance to try Mica Beauty Shop, go for it. They are so beautiful. So here are my swatches. We have the cream colored matte from Zoeva. This is the 182 degrees shadow from Zoeva. I can see why I love that, but it's not as shimmery as I prefer my shadows to be nowadays. But you know what? We can do 5 uses on that. This is Mica Beauty Shop Payon from the Peacock Feathers palette, and this is Mica Beauty Shop Just a Dream. Look at that shadow, look at that shift. It is divine. I want to eat it. It is so beautiful. Okay, so those are my shadows. Oh my gosh, I cannot stop staring at that shadow and that swatch. I can just see pink and blue and purple and green, and it's gorgeous. Very excited to be working on that one. That will be all of my shadows. Excuse me. That will be all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Look at my dirty fingers. Bye.